Next, we're going to talk about real estate 11 common buying pitfalls to avoid and steer clear of. It is important to avoid pitfalls when buying a property because it is a very significant financial and emotional investment to purchase a property. This choice often costs you 30 plus years of your life and countless dollars every year. Even after the mortgage is paid for, you still have the expenses associated with repairs, taxes, and normal living expenses. Homeownership is a long-term commitment where mistakes and oversights can really impact you for many years to come. The real estate market is very complex and ever-changing, and it's also a challenge to navigate effectively because it's always evolving and changing over time. The best thing you can do is ensure that you have a great team to support you when you're in the buying process. Take time to ensure that you are really researching and build your home buying team to include a very good realtor, inspector, title company, and attorney. So the first most common mistake is that individuals often don't have a well-defined budget when they're going into the home buying process. Not having a well-defined budget that includes expenses, cash flow, and a really well thought out income analysis compared to your expenses, it can really be detrimental to your outcome and overall successes. Number two mistake, not knowing the maximum purchase price that's affordable to you. Be sure to set a maximum purchase price for your home purchasing before you walk and tour any property, because oftentimes people turn this home purchasing process into a emotional decision, and that's coming from a female who are often making emotional decisions. You definitely want to think about the home buying process in advance in a very logical way. Do your budget, figure out what you can afford, and then also figure out what's your purchase price. That way you're mostly walking properties that are within your purchase price range, and you're thinking about the decision in a very logical way. Number three mistake, buying outside of your budgeted purchase price is heavily frowned upon. For me, I really recommend figuring out how you could just buy anything, because anything you can buy is going to improve your life situation in the long term when you think about it mathematically. With time, all will get better. The hardest part is the first 5 years of the home ownership process. And as long as you get through those first 5 years, I think it's all downhill from there. As inflation really starts to affect and enhance your situation, rents will go up, your income will go up, but your fixed rate mortgage will stay constant, and it'll really become more meaningful within 5 years after purchase, or 10 years. The first 10 years of your purchase, you'll see that it was a good buy. With time, everything will get better as long as you are buying under the median property value for your state and city. If you buy an expensive property outside your budget that's also above average when it comes to the purchase price, you may find yourself in a little bit more risky situation. That's why I'm recommending buy within the median. Don't buy something above average in cost unless you can truly afford it and you have multiple income streams to reduce risk. If you buy an expensive property outside of your budget, for instance, the best property in town and above the median, you do have higher risks within recessions, so good luck on that one. But only do that if you can really afford it and you've minimized your risks along the way. Yes, you may still win in life, because I really believe in purchasing, just in general. But for me, I'm really recommending staying below the median price for that city, or as close to the median purchase price as you can for that area. So if the median home value is $79,000, my recommendation is for you to purchase your house under $90,000, just so you're not buying too high above the average median price of properties in your area. It's just reducing risk for you, that's all. Buy anything under the median. Above the median, be a little bit more careful. The fourth mistake people make is not considering all expenses for the property purchase. The fourth mistake people make is not considering all expenses for property purchases. Be sure to budget and consider your expenses, all the costs to purchasing a home, to include property taxes, insurance, mortgage, utilities, and repairs. Number 5, not getting a mortgage pre-approval. Be sure to get pre-approved for the mortgages so you know what banks are willing to give you for your property purchase. Without a pre-approval, you may lose out on purchasing the most amazing property ever, and so you really simply want to not waste your time, get pre-approved in advance for your loan. That will really streamline your loan process and actually smoothen it out and make it a little bit easier and quicker as well. You can save a lot of time by getting mortgage pre-approval letters from several banks. When you're pre-approved, the whole process is just way quicker and easier. Mistake number 6, skipping home inspections. A home inspection protects the buyer by informing them of major issues prior to their property purchase, so they can understand and consider these issues in the purchasing process, but also they can even request these issues be resolved prior to purchasing, or even negotiate a better price based on the issues that you've identified in the home inspection process. Definitely be sure to get an inspection, because this inspection may cost you $50 to $200, but it will save you thousands because it'll allow you the opportunity to better negotiate the price with the seller, even though you both have agreed to be under contract. You do have that inspection phase of 10 to 15 days is actually for you, and honestly, to spend $50 or $200 on an inspection, unless it's a more expensive property, maybe a higher cost, but to pay that cost is definitely always worth it, because you go into purchasing your property knowing what issues exist, and also you're able to negotiate better, or you can have the seller make some repairs based on your findings. Mistake number 7, not working with a real estate agent. A real estate agent, especially one that works over a decade in real estate, provides you very valuable insight and guidance through the home buying process. Realtors really know real estate well, and they also can spot issues within the property or purchase price. They can really help mitigate problems that you may have along the purchasing or even home ownership decades to come. A realtor is a great negotiator, and they are also a great asset in the purchasing process. They help guide you through all necessary paperwork for purchasing, and these documents are rather important but also complicated, so their expertise is pretty priceless. Finding someone who's been a realtor for at least a decade, because the wiser and more experienced they are, it will really impact and affect your outcomes and how informed you are within the process. Mistake number 8, not working with an attorney or title company. Be sure to work with an attorney or title company to ensure that the title for the property is clear of any issues or liens. Be sure to ensure that all funds are wired with no issues to the correct place, and careful not to wire your money to the wrong location, because they will, and the title company will really help you ensure that the money is distributed to the seller properly and on time with no issues. Mistake number 9, understand what you sign and agree to. Be sure to gain some insight from your realtor, title company, and or attorney to ensure that you understand the contracts that you're signing. These documents are legally binding, so it's very important to read and understand them before signing. If you have any questions or concerns, be sure to ask questions. Mistake number 10, buying homes with foundation issues, roof issues, or other structural issues. Buying a home with a foundation issue, roof issue, or other structural issues will cost you a lot of money, and these issues are extremely costly to repair and fix, and they often require a more specialized contract to resolve them. They may not be fixable with resources available to you, and you might really have to do upper level research and finding specialized contractors and get extra city permits to make these more structural major repairs. You should definitely avoid more complicated repairs like the plague because it'll really open up a can of worms, is what they like to say. Is like you might think that you have one issue, but in reality that issue, once you dive into it, becomes bigger and bigger and worse than you ever thought it was. Remember that there's so many options out there, there's so many properties, and if you find a structural issue in one home, there's a lot of other homes available to you. You just have to be a little patient and find the perfect deal for you. You'll want to go forth trying to find a property with cosmetic repairs and as much as possible try to avoid major repairs. So as I noted earlier, buying should be a logical, not emotional decision. Don't fall in love with the first house you see. Be sure to see multiple properties before making an offer to purchase. Be sure to shop around, find the best deal with the least major structural repair issues or the best purchase price. Do your research and explore multiple properties so you know what are the best deals available within your price range. Make informed decisions based on logic, facts, and the numbers, not based on emotions. So you'll want to be sure to consider future. When buying, be sure to acknowledge the purchase price compared to other properties in the area. Is your house the best, or is it in the middle or the worst property? Because it'll really affect whether your property will appreciate or how much it will, or whether it's going to be a competitive property if you ever wanted to sell it down the road. Sometimes it's best to buy the worst property on the neighborhood so that you know that the property will most definitely appreciate to the current prices of the nearby similar properties. If you buy the best property in the area, then your property may not appreciate so much as buying the worst property in the area. And the perfect math of the situation is that when you buy the worst property, you know the potential that the appreciation can provide. You know that if you repaired the property a little bit, the property can appreciate to the value of the other homes. It is like fact. It is known information, and that's a really priceless situation to put yourself into. Knowing the potential appreciation that exists today is really priceless and very helpful. Definitely be sure to buy a property based on your needs, not your wants. Buy what you can afford, buy what you need, and buy within your savings, and ensure that you're safe even if you lose your job or income. Have money saved up for unexpected issues, and be sure to have an emergency fund. In the end of the day, you should minimize risks. Buying is a great thing, just do so in an informed manner. Make logical decisions and ideally work with a great team for all of your purchases. You'll want to mitigate issues and mistakes along the way. One should definitely avoid common mistakes anytime able. Once obstacles and mistakes are minimized, just go forward with confidence and do your best. Take actions. Only informed actions mean to meaningful outcomes and results. Be sure to consider all of the above in order to achieve the best outcomes. But in the end of the day, the best thing you can do is buy a property for yourself and your family mathematically. This is because purchasing a property is always a win. Just buy. And the reason why I say this is because after 30 years, this property is paid off and you literally have reduced your expenses exponentially for the rest of the life of the home. And even at 30 years as well, you can sell the property at a much higher value than you purchased it at because inflation and appreciation. So regardless of what you pay today, you know that 30 years from now, your expenses will completely drop toward just, under 5 or 10,000, for example. So if you buy, like, let's say a $150,000 property, right? You may be paying monthly mortgage payments, but after 30 years, those mortgage payments drop to zero because the house is paid off. And regardless of the house being paid off, you may have 5 to 10,000 in taxes, utilities, and repairs, but the reality is, without that mortgage, your expenses have dropped tremendously, and you can literally sell the property for more than what you purchased it for 30 years down the road. And so you literally know with every house purchase that you are winning mathematically, in my eyes. But if you rent, you're throwing away your money and giving it to the landowner. So don't rent, don't throw your money away, purchase a property, because the math will only be in your favor 30 years down the road. You just have to be patient and trust in the process. If you're looking to speed up your successes and find yourself closer to retirement through real estate, crypto, or any other business successes, be sure to follow me and subscribe. I'll see you all on the next video.